Okay, guys, welcome back to a new video here. I want to talk about this ridiculous Piers Morgan panel today, where you had the Trump supporter on the panel, Jillian Michaels, go at it with two other Democrats, and then Piers in the distance, basically on the Trump side in this argument. And they had a heated debate on a number of topics. The first one, they were talking about Elon Musk and came up on a bunch of the attacks on the Tesla dealerships. And they were talking about Twitter and how, since Elon bought Twitter, it's kind of evaporated in terms of discourse on the platform. I mean, the amount of hate speech on the platform in terms of, you open your For You page and all you see is, you could see slurs all over the place, just the most insane stuff. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about if you're on Twitter. The idea that this is, the same thing as the old Twitter and the old one had the same thing, but on the left, you just don't know what you're talking about. It's completely different. I mean, it really is like the Wild West. Whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing is your choice, but there is zero question that Twitter now it's a cesspool. It's completely hateful. It's all over the place. And the Trump supporter Jillian Michaels goes off. She goes crazy. She can't believe what he's saying. It's complete hypocrisy. And then she weirdly gets into a tangent about Jewish people, and she starts talking about how Mahmoud Khalil should be out of the country. It was very bizarre. Let's just show the first clip and we'll talk about it after.
On Twitter, a lot of words, terms, phrases would get you banned and muted and kicked off the platform.
And they still do.
Elon Musk came back to Twitter.
They still do.
No, they don't.
They still do.
The hate speech on Twitter.
When can I jump in here? The hypocrisy is killing me. The hypocrisy is bananas here. When do I get to just go? Okay, let's look at it for a second. How many videos do you need to see of politicians on the left making the exact same hand gesture, and yet nobody's alarmed? We've seen it over and over and over again from politicians like AOC being a perfect example. However, you're upset about Elon Musk being an anti-Semite who happens to be friends with Jews, hire Jews, has never killed a Jew, and yet you're not upset about the swastika being scratched into his car. How about the fact that the left, and we all know the reason, that Kamala Harris didn't actually choose Josh Shapiro as her VP, although he would have probably been the best choice. Could it be because he's Jewish? I don't know. Let's speculate at it.
You think it was because he was Jewish?
Or how about the fact... I do think
it's a hell of a high watermark that he hasn't killed a Jew.
Yes, I do.
Hasn't killed a Jew, therefore.
What about the sick hail from all of your politicians? Not only has he not killed a Jew, he's hired Jews. He's friends with Jews. Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka has converted to Judaism, and they're very close friends. I would imagine that I can't. You're full of crap. How about this one? Why are you not upset about Mahmoud Khalil? Where's your outrage about this guy who's part of an organization that celebrates the October 7th attacks?
You want to breathe. So you're saying that Kamala Harris is an anti-Semite because she didn't choose a Jewish running mate. She's married to a Jewish guy.
That the Democratic Party did not choose. I think
Okay, they were talking about how basically Elon Musk at the Trump inauguration did the salute. I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm talking about. Where it certainly looked like he was doing a sea hail. It looks like that's what he was doing. Whether it was on purpose or not, I'll leave it up for you guys to decide. But there was no question. It looked like a Nazi salute. There is no question about it. It looked exactly like that. There's no denying that unless you're being completely dishonest. And then you have people like Jillian Michaels, and she knows that she's just totally lying, comparing it to what AOC is doing. They're raising their hand. They did not do the actual Roman salute like Elon Musk did twice. People who do that are completely dishonest. And frankly, anyone who says that, they have literally zero credibility. You should not listen to a word they say. So she's completely full of crap. Basically saying, oh, AOC did the same thing by raising her arm in the air. It is not even close to what Elon Musk did at the inauguration. There's a reason that went mega viral. He literally did the double Roman salute twice, okay? Completely ridiculous. And then she goes on, oh, he loves Jews. He's never killed a Jew, so he's not anti-Semitic. What? And he has said on social media, agreeing with a bunch of white nationalist accounts, which, by the way, that goes into the hate speech thing we're talking about. But okay, fine. He does that. But okay, fine. But then she starts saying, oh, Kamala Harris, implying that she's anti-Semitic because she didn't pick Josh Shapiro because he was Jewish. Wait a second. What? She picked Tim Walz because people thought he was the most progressive candidate. And frankly, they hurt Tim Walz because they didn't let him actually expose himself more in the campaign trail as they should have done. The idea that that's not why she picked Shapiro is ridiculous. She's married to a Jewish person. So calling her anti-Semitic, you have to have an IQ below 30 It's amazing how these people get away with this utter bullcrap, and yet Piers Morgan sitting there saying absolutely nothing. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And then calling for the deportation of Mahmoud Khalil, saying, are you saying anything about that? How terrible that is? She and her argument, guys, is not that it's terrible that he's being illegally detained in a detention facility. It's that they're not calling him out. Wait a second. Aren't people like Jillian Michaels and these Trump supporters, they're the ones who are supposedly pro-free speech, right? But now when it's something they like, obviously she's very pro-Israel. That's pretty obvious. The fact that now she's, oh yeah, it's terrible. It's great these students are being locked up on the streets and picked up for no crimes whatsoever. And yeah, he actually is a green card resident, and he does, without question, have constitutional rights. That is a fact. There is zero question about it. So people like Jillian Michaels, who were, oh yeah, the left hates free speech, we love free speech. Now they're championing actual detainment of these people in this country for exercising those free speech rights. They love it. Again, it's hard to take these people seriously. It really is. And they're just like, what are you talking about here? I mean, the entire thing is insane. Guys, make sure to like and subscribe, by the way. It's super good for the algorithm. My Patreon and Amazon links are in the description as well. Please subscribe. We're almost at 500 subs. Let's try and get there soon. Okay, and we're going to show you a second clip here. Let me just show you the clip and we'll talk about it after. It's better for me to just show you than talk about it. Here's the clip.
If it meant that appeased the daddy.
Okay, Jillian Michaels, I mean, yeah, again, it's an amendment to the Constitution that was made in the last 80 years. There's no logical reason why Trump couldn't move potentially to have it further amended. So he could technically try and do that. The question is whether he'd be successful.
Listen, I am of the ilk that we should pay attention to the things he actually does as opposed to the things that he says. Because if we were chasing down all of the bluster and all of the craziness, which I think is part of his negotiating strategies to throw the other side off balance, so on and so forth, it would be chaos. We've got 4 years to wait and deal with this problem should it arise. And there are a host of other significantly pressing issues I think we should be focused on.
Yeah, okay. So now people like Jillian Michaels and Piers Morgan, they're whitewashing Trump, saying, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do a third term. Ha, ha, ha. Even though he's literally said he's not joking. He's the president of the United States, and he said he's not joking. So I'm going to take him seriously, because why would you not? He literally did not leave power last time, and there was an insurrection at the United States Capitol building in order to avoid leaving power. So now it's like, oh, let's just focus on what he does, not what he says. I mean, again, you can't take these people seriously. They do not care, because the truth is, if Donald Trump was to do that and he was to do a third term and try and maintain power and go against the Constitution, which supposedly all these Republicans care about, when they actually don't, they just use it as a prop. Okay, it's completely, again, the First Amendment, the free speech, again with the Mahmoud Khalil thing, they don't care. As long as it agrees with their policy, they'll throw the Constitution out. Same thing here. Most of these Republicans, or at least the people on digital media, like Jillian Michaels, they don't care if Trump does 10 terms. They don't care about the Constitution at all. At all, they don't care. So if Donald Trump ran for a third term, you think Jillian Michaels would be super livid about it, as if the same level that she calls out wokeness? Of course not. Of course not. And she pretends like she's oh, it's a common sense person. It's utter BS, guys. Running for a third term where these people are justifying it. It's against the Constitution. It's pretty clear, 22nd Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which supposedly all these people care about. And there's a 0% chance that can be amended. There's no way they're going to get 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, and over half the states. That's not going to happen, obviously, under any circumstance, unless they do something illegal. Now, would it shock me if they do that? Absolutely not, because they always do things illegal. Again, it really is tough to take these people seriously. I'm curious what you guys think about this, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Agree, disagree. I want a wide audience, so whatever you guys think, let me know. Make sure to like and subscribe. Super good for the algorithm. Again, we're super close to 500 subs. Let's try and get there soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.